Hello everyone, welcome to IELTS Power Prep. So today I am here with writing task 2. Today we are going to evaluate this together. I will let you know how basically your essay gets evaluated, and I'll let you know those 4 points which you should be taking care of so as to get a better band score. Alright, so this is the answer to writing task 2, and this is written by one of my students. So let's understand the question first. So some people think that it would be better for large companies and industries to move to regional areas outside large urban center. Do you think advantages? Okay, so first of all, what you will do is you will understand the question appropriately, and then you will notice the demand of the question. All right, so whenever you will get a question in exam, there would be two points, I would say. The first one is essay's statement, and the next one is its demand. So firstly, like I would say, the most important thing for you guys is to understand the meaning of the question. So it says, some people think that it would be better for large companies and industries to move to regional areas outside large urban centers. Do you think? Okay, so it would be better. So this is a very important point. We have to prove this point. I will see if in this answer my student has compared to prove it better or not. If he has not compared, that means his task is not achieved and he can't get a better band score. On the other hand, if he has proved this thing to be better, then that means that he has achieved the task properly and the response is also appropriate. So some people think that it would be better for large companies. So the question is about large companies and industries to move to regional areas outside large urban areas. So regional areas, first of all, is not the rural areas. Regional area would be the area which would be outside the center of the city. So the question says that it would be better for these companies and industries to move to regional areas. Okay, outside. Okay, so if these companies will move to regional areas, what would be the advantages and disadvantages? All right, so I'm able to understand the question. Now what's the demand of the question? It says, do you think advantages outweigh disadvantages? So what we have to do is, you should be very careful that there is a word outweigh. So in IELTS there are 7 types of essay, and advantages, disadvantages, if we consider these ones, then there are 2 types. The very first type is, they will give you a certain scenario and they will ask you the advantages and disadvantages. Like they will say, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this trend. And the other one is, do you think advantages of this trend outweigh its disadvantages? So there are 2 types. So if the question's demand is this one, then you have to mention 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages. However, in this one, it says, do you think that this outweigh this? All right, so what we will do is, we have to maintain this ratio. It is very, very important. So if there are if you have to give 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages, then the essay's demand would be this, otherwise this one. So if it asks you to write advantages and disadvantages, then you have to give 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages. However, if it says something a word related to overweigh is there, then you have to maintain this ratio. That means you can either prove that advantages are more than disadvantages, or you can prove that disadvantages are more than advantages. So here you will be able to maintain this ratio. All right. So in this case, you will mention one drawback and two advantages, and vice versa. And in this one, you have to mention one advantage and two disadvantages. All right. So I'll be letting you know how to structure these ones, and moreover, how many paragraphs are needed and how many points are needed to achieve a better band score. All right. So let's evaluate this one. So there are various things which I will be, having in my mind while evaluating. So firstly, I am evaluating this answer, and then I'll let you know like what those points were and why this student got this particular band score. All right. So in each essay type, there would be 4 paragraphs. One would be introduction, and then main body para 1, main body para 2, and then conclusion. So this is a general thing. So you have to maintain this sequence: introduction, main body para 1, main body para 2, and conclusion. All right. So this is the introduction, which is written by him. Let's evaluate it. People nowadays think that if companies and industries. All right. So first of all, we'll not write it as this, but this, and you would need 2 commas, because nowadays is being written as an additional clause. So it is a very important point that in your IELTS essay you have to write additional clauses. I'll let you know what additional clauses are, but basically now you just be aware that when you are writing a word or a sentence between 2 commas, that means it is being used as an additional clause. So it is very important. This thing comes in your grammatical range and accuracy, for which you are given score. I'll make you understand this thing as well. So people nowadays think, all right, so let me tell you, he has not written the way I wanted and the way he can get a better band score. So I will let you know like how he should have written. So all right, so there's a new one. I'll let you know. So let's discuss this simultaneously. So in essay, firstly you will write introduction, and then main body paragraph 1, followed by main I'll write this way, main body para 2, and then conclusion. So you have to write 250 to 280 words. So as there are 4 paragraphs, we will try to write 4 to 5 sentences in introduction, 6 to 7 sentences in main body para 1, and the same goes for this one, and in conclusion we'll write 4 to 5. So that's approximate, and which together comes out to be 250 or maybe 265 or something like that. So I said that in introduction you have to write 4 to 5 sentences, but what those 4 to 5 sentences would be? So it's not like you just have to write and then you will get the band score. No, not at all. So there is a set criteria you have to follow while writing your IELTS essay. So I'll let you know that when you have to write introduction, you have to write 4 to 5 sentences, but what these 4 to 5 sentences would be. So introduction has 2 parts. Main body paragraph has 4 parts, and conclusion also has 4 points. So I'll let you know first of all how to write introduction. As my student has written introduction, so I'll explain you how he should have written and we'll compare it with the way he has written. Alright, so in introduction, as you have to write 5 sentences, so there would be 2 parts. The very first thing in introduction is going to be rephrase of the question statement. Number 1. And number 2 will be thesis statement. But what these are? Let's discuss. Rephrase. Rephrase means rephrase of question statement basically. So this is our question statement from sum till this one. And the demand of the question is this. So the question has 2 parts and similarly introduction has 2 parts. So what you will do is you will rephrase this question statement. That is, you will rephrase this question statement and the demand of the question will be fulfilled by writing the thesis statement. So you should be very clear that in essay, like in every statement, in every question, there would be 2 parts. And in answer, in introduction, you should have 2 parts. Alright, so first is rephrase of the question statement. So what the question statement is here is this one. Alright, so what we'll do is we have to rephrase this one. Alright, so now what's the rephrase? Rephrase means the meaning of the statement should be same, but words shouldn't be. Alright, so what to do? Meaning of the statement should be same, but words shouldn't be. So to prove this, what can be done? For example, here it says some people think. Let's rephrase this thing. Some people think. So what we can do is, for some, we should have some, synonym. For people, we should have some synonym. And for think, we should have some synonym. Let me teach you this one. Some people think. Let's rephrase it. So for rephrasing, we basically follow 3 rules. If you follow these 3 rules, it will be very easy for you guys to rephrase the question statement. So first of all, the very first rule is using synonyms. Second rule is using passive sentences. And to introduce a grammatical range, we will be using additional clause. Additional clause is, additional clause could be a word used within commas. Additional clause could also be a statement or a long sentence but within commas. Alright, so in this answer, I will see if he has used synonyms, if he has used passive sentences or additional clause if used or not. Alright, so let's see. Here he has written people, think, nowadays. Okay, so he has used this additional clause rule, but it was not accurate because he has not used commas. Right, now let's see if he has used synonyms. People, no synonym. Think, so he has not used synonyms. And then the other one was passive sentences. You must be aware like what the passive sentences are. If you are not, I will make another video so that you can easily use passive sentences not only in your writing task but also your speaking. So people nowadays think. Alright, so he has written it as people, let me keep it this way, people nowadays think. See, it's not up to the mark. Let's see why. First of all, he has not used synonyms. So what we will use is, we will write people as individuals. And then the another what we say mistake is he has not added commas. So while evaluating, I will do this. Think, you can say think, you can say opine, believe, B-L-I-V-E-E-E, ponder, assert, so there are various words you can use, but you should be using synonyms for that. All right, now synonyms have been used, additional clause is also used. Now let's move towards passive sentences. So people nowadays think, so how we will write its passive? When the sentence has subject, verb and object, it is an active sentence. Whereas if the object moves here, subject moves here, and the verb's form is third, and then there is an additional by, it becomes an active sentence. So how we will convert this active sentence into passive sentence? So it says people nowadays think. So what I will write is, it is thought by people. So this is a passive sentence, but it has again no additional clause. So further improvement is, it is nowadays thought by. I will not write people but individuals, and then I will not write thought, I will write it is nowadays. Third form for opine is opined, believed, something like that, opined by individuals. Now see, there is a lot of difference between the between the sentence he has written and the sentence I have written. See, he just wrote people nowadays think. However, I have written it is nowadays opined by individuals. Or you can further add synonym to this one. You can say it is nowadays opined by a certain section of society. So this makes a lot of difference. All right, so let's evaluate it further. People nowadays think that, so what I will do is, I will give him a point here, that instead of writing people nowadays think, you should have written it is nowadays opined by individuals. That if companies and industries moves, we will not write moves, we will write move. This is another grammatical concept. So I will cover this grammatical concept in one of our further classes. It is a very, very important concept. This is, I would say, one of the major mistakes, and I would say even the students who got 7.5 bands in IELTS writing, for them too, this is a major problem, right? So be very careful. People nowadays think that if companies and industries move to regional areas, comma, it would be better. So there's no need of comma here, because dash, pollution in city would be reduced and more empty places would be available. Spelling mistakes. The spelling mistakes. All right. So what he has mentioned is, in introduction, he has given the points with the help of which he will prove that the advantages are more. So he says that if this would be done, if industries and companies will move to regional areas, then there would be two advantages. One is pollution in cities basically would be reduced, and more empty places would be available. So it's a very good practice to add main ideas in your introduction. Although he has written in a very good manner, or as taught, I would say, but still it is not up to the mark. So what we will do, we will try to add what we say complex sentences. In thesis statement, always try to use complex sentence. What this complex sentence is? I can teach you the entire concept of complex sentences in this class, but I will just introduce one, which is although. Alright, so instead of writing this one, how should it be written? Let me write it here. So he has already rephrased the question, and I have improved it. Now he has already written the thesis statement, but it still needs improvement because there is no complex sentence. I encourage you to use complex sentences if you want to get 7 or 7.5 bands. So how we will write thesis statement? In introduction, if you want to get 6, then you should just rephrase the question statement, and then write the thesis statement, and that's it. But if you want to get 7, 7.5 or more, then you should definitely add main ideas in your introduction. It's very, very important. And while writing the thesis statement, writing the complex sentence is also mandatory. You can get 6 if you don't follow these ones and you are having like good hold over grammar, having few occasional mistakes. But if you want to score better, then you should definitely follow these all instructions. So if I had to write thesis statement without giving main ideas, just for like 6 band, then I will write it like this. So very simple sentence. I believe advantages of this trend are more than its disadvantages. That's it, and I'm going to prove this one. Alright, so this is a thesis statement for 6 bands, but I want to achieve 7, 7.5 or more. So how would I do? Firstly, I will introduce main ideas in the thesis statement, and then I will, on top of that, will use complex sentence. So how will I write? Although dash is the drawback of dash, comma, merits which include not only dash but also dash cannot be overlooked. Full stop. So this is I would say you can use this sentence as a template for outweigh essay. So although dash is the drawback of dash, merits which include not only dash but also dash cannot be overlooked. Or you can say merits which include not only dash but also dash are exceedingly more. exceedingly more or are far more. Now let's fill these blanks. So although dash is the drawback, so what you will do is you will write first drawback of what? Essay's statement. First drawback of moving the industries and factories from this area to that area. So this one is the drawback. Merits which include not only first merit but also second merit cannot be overlooked, are exceedingly more or are far more. So we will write although dash is the drawback of essay's statement, merits which include not only dash but also dash cannot be overlooked. So here you will write drawback 1, and here you will write essay's statement, here you will write merit 1 and merit 2, and yes, so this way you will be able to maintain this ratio 1:2, because you have given one drawback and you are going to explain 2 merits. So this means the question basically asked that what are the advantages and disadvantages? No, rather it asked, do you think advantages outweigh disadvantages? So you had to maintain 1:2. So now what's the mistake done by this student? So he has mentioned the advantages only. He has not mentioned the drawback. Because he did not mention the drawback, he was not able to use the sentence although. Had he introduced the drawback in thesis statement, he would have, or I would say he could have used the word although. All right, so what suggestion will I give to the student is that you have tried to add main ideas in this one, but there is no complex sentence used because you did not add the the point for drawback. So he should also have introduced drawback. If he was able to add drawback, he could have used the sentence although. So thesis should have complex sentence although. All right, so how we can improve this one? By adding although, and then although can be used, and we can also prove it to be more if we use although sentence and we give one drawback and 2 advantages, but he has not added drawback. That's why his thesis is incomplete. All right, so then how will be the final answer? So this is a template, although dash is the drawback. So let's brainstorm what advantages he has written. Before brainstorming, let's see. He has written that pollution in cities would be reduced and more empty places would be available. All right, so if the cities if industries and factories will move to regional areas, then in cities, number one, there would be less pollution, and there would also be more space. And the drawback could be, to write this one, we should have a clear-cut drawback in our mind. So drawback could be that there is a huge cost involved in this one. Although dash is the drawback, although huge amount of money is needed for this, we can use this as a drawback. Although involvement of huge amount of money is the drawback of moving factories and industries from urban areas to regional areas, merits which include not only cities becoming less polluted, but also cities able to have more vacant spaces cannot be overlooked. All right, so let's write it. So the final answer would be, okay, moving factories and industries from urban areas to regional areas, comma. So although involvement of huge amount of money, this is the drawback one, is the drawback of moving, let's correct it, moving factories and industries from urban areas to regional areas. This is essay statement, because it said although dash is the drawback of essay statement. So we wrote although involvement of huge amount of money is the drawback of moving factories and industries from urban areas to regional areas. Now we have already written drawback, so we will write two advantages so that we can prove that advantages are more. Okay, let's write. Merits which include not only cities becoming less polluted, but also availability of more space cannot be so merits which include not only first merit but also second merit. So it's merit 2 and it's merit 1. Although involvement of huge amount of money is the drawback of moving factories and industries from urban areas to regional areas, merits which include not only cities becoming less polluted but also availability of more space cannot be overlooked, or are far more, or are exceedingly more. Alright, so this is the final thesis statement. So you should just analyze the difference between the thesis statement my student has written and the thesis statement I have written. So basically he needs to learn a lot. If he will be able to mention his thesis statement this way, he will eventually be able to get a better band score. All right, so stay tuned for the next video, and just like and share our channel. Thank you so much.